History is often shaped by unexpected alliances, and few were as consequential as the partnership between Jean Lafitte, a notorious pirate, and General Andrew Jackson during the Battle of New Orleans. Lafitte's crucial contributions, providing intelligence, experience, fighters and supplies, helped secure an American victory against the British in 1815. This triumph not only cemented Jackson's status as a national hero, but also set the stage for his political ascent and the emergence of Jacksonian democracy. However, had Lafitte withheld his support, the battle's outcome could have been drastically different, altering Jackson's fate, reshaping American democracy, and sending ripples across global history. Jean Lafitte, a pirate and smuggler operating in the Gulf of Mexico, found himself in a unique position during the War of 1812. Though pursued by American authorities, he saw greater opportunity in aligning with the United States rather than Britain. Lafitte's network of informants provided vital intelligence on British plans, while his men, skilled in combat and artillery, helped bolster Jackson's forces. The Battle of New Orleans was a defining moment, ensuring American control over a crucial port and reinforcing national confidence. Jackson's leadership during the battle transformed him into a war hero overnight. His image as a defender of the Republic resonated deeply with the American people, fueling his rise to political prominence. This led to the birth of Jacksonian democracy, a political movement that championed the expansion of voting rights, increased participation of the common man in government, and a strong executive branch. Without his victory at New Orleans, Jackson's ascent and the populist wave he inspired might never have occurred. Without Lafitte's aid, Jackson's forces would have faced severe disadvantages. The loss of artillery expertise, diminished troop numbers, and lack of critical intelligence could have led to an American defeat. A British victory at New Orleans would have disrupted American control of the Mississippi River, weakening the nation's economic and strategic position. Had the British secured New Orleans, they might have refused to relinquish control even after the Treaty of Ghent was signed. This could have led to extended territorial disputes, weakened American sovereignty, and dampened the young nation's morale. Such a loss might have destabilized American politics, shifting power away from the frontier populism that Jackson embodied and toward the traditional elites of the East. Jackson's entire political career hinged on his military triumphs. Without his heroism at New Orleans, he would have remained a relatively obscure military officer, lacking the public appeal necessary for national leadership. His failure to emerge as a dominant political figure would have prevented the rise of his Democratic Party and delayed key political transformations in the United States. The absence of Jackson's influence might have strengthened the political power of the established aristocracy, further entrenching elite rule and limiting the voice of the common citizen in government. His reputation as a champion of the people and a disruptor of entrenched interests would never have taken root, fundamentally altering the trajectory of American populism. Jacksonian democracy emphasized broader democratic participation, advocating for expanded suffrage and challenging entrenched aristocratic privilege. Without Jackson, these ideals may have taken longer to materialize, delaying the growth of political inclusivity. The push for universal white male suffrage, a defining characteristic of Jackson's presidency, might not have gained traction until much later in the 19th century. Without this movement, the democratic participation of non-elite citizens would have remained limited, leaving governance in the hands of property-owning elites for a longer period. Additionally, Jackson's economic policies, including his fierce opposition to the Second Bank of the United States, might not have emerged. His battle against the National Bank was rooted in his distrust of concentrated financial power and his belief that it favored the wealthy at the expense of ordinary citizens. Without Jackson's influence, the national banking system might have evolved differently, potentially leading to an earlier entrenchment of centralized economic control rather than the decentralization of banking power that characterized his presidency. Moreover, the expansionist ideals tied to Jacksonian democracy, including manifest destiny, could have been significantly altered. Jackson's policies encouraged the aggressive westward expansion of the United States. But without his leadership, the federal government might have taken a more measured approach to territorial growth. This could have delayed conflicts such as the Texas Revolution and the Mexican-American War, reshaping the geopolitical landscape of North America. Socially, the absence of Jackson's impact could have prolonged the grip of political elitism, making it more difficult for future reformers to push for democratic changes. The populist rhetoric that Jackson embodied, which later inspired political movements advocating for labor rights, economic fairness, and broader suffrage, might not have developed as strongly. This delay could have extended into later movements, affecting the eventual push for civil rights, economic justice, and governmental accountability in the 19th and 20th centuries. Jacksonian democracy influenced political movements worldwide, particularly in shaping populist and democratic ideals. Without it, the spread of such movements in Latin America and Europe might have been slower. American global influence in the 19th century, including its role as a model for democratic governance, could have been diminished. Jean Lafitte's contributions to the Battle of New Orleans were more than a battlefield advantage. They were a catalyst for a political revolution in America. Without his assistance, Jackson's defeat might have prevented the rise of Jacksonian democracy, altering U.S. history and its role on the global stage. This scenario underscores how small historical decisions can shape the course of nations, highlighting the fragile nature of pivotal moments in history.